Yo, what's going on, man? Happy Sunday. Today is October the 6th. Let's jump into it for today. Welcome into the ChrisBeCappinn Show as well. I didn't do a show yesterday because I didn't bet any college football or anything else that was going on yesterday, any MLB. On Friday, I did make 4 wagers, and only one of those was a winner. It was Aces first quarter, which was barely a winner. Sabrina Ionescu was trapped. I talked about this last night in the standalone video that I made for the Aces game. Sabrina Ionescu was trapped a lot. She was also just not aggressive, so she went under her points and assists pretty easy. Alyssa Thomas missed about 5 layups at the beginning of the game. She went under her points plus rebounds by 2, so you can say we got hooked there. And Afisha Collier was a lot more assertive and aggressive, looking to find her shot. And she also could have got 4 assists, but she did not. Couple missed shots. And she stays right at 3 assists. So a big step back, in my opinion. I know it was only a unit that I lost because a lot of these was half unit plays, and the first quarter was a plus money play, but it still ended up being a losing day. I'm just that quick, man. I'm already off props. Don't really want to play anymore. So we'll go through a couple of the comments, jump into the 2 games today, answer any questions that you guys have, and then I'll share some NFL looks that I'm going to make for today's games as well, as we have about 21 minutes before the London Day game kicks off between the Jets and the Vikings. So let's get to a couple of the comments. What up, Chad? He says, morning, guys. Tons of money to be made out here. I agree with that. He says, Aces Liberty first quarter over 42.5, playing it again. Been wagging this series. It is 3-0. Straight up. For some reason, no defense being played in the first quarter. Teams coming out absolutely on fire, hot early. So could only agree with you here, Chad. I kind of feel like it's going to be the under game, though, but who knows, man. Mark says, good morning, Chris and crew. Another great sports day. Let's get it. Absolutely. Showing some love to Chad. Says he's going to tell that first quarter play. Been money. Chad says, let's get it. I'm 10 units away from 200 on the season. 202, 131, 60.5% betting nearly every single game. You better than me, Chad. You better than me betting every single game. But I love the results, man. Love the results, and that's all that matters. He likes the Lynx first half, plus a point, plus a half a point. Liberty plus 3. Sound like some alignment there. What's up, Joe? Appreciate you for tapping in as always. Happy Sunday to you. What's up, James? Says my boy Chris. Good morning, Tasha. Good morning, Peasy. He says college football was disgusting work yesterday. James says he got murdered yesterday. He also says I look sick. I talked about this in those videos that I was making for the NBA previews. I don't feel the greatest. Like, I've been a little under the weather for the last couple of days, but I'll be all right. It's coming back. Like, that's the only reason my energy seem a little low. Chad says, come on, Chris, your energy way down. You do this. Yeah, I do. I think, like I said, just combination not feeling good. We definitely gonna bounce back and get right. But yeah, it's just not feeling the greatest. I've been, drinking a lot of tea, oregano oil, mullein, all that good stuff. Or even already this morning. What up, Glow? He says over. I don't know what game you're talking about. And CG3 says Jocko Jones over 22.5 points plus rebounds. That's an interesting look because she's been going under this number for sure. So you would need her to bounce back big in this game. And I guess I agree with it because I know there's a stat that's going around about Jocko. If she gets a double-double, they've won like 90+% of their games or 100 or something like that. And I like the Liberty today. Spoiler alert. Aaron says, good morning, Chris. Let's get this money. All right, let's jump into the games, man. So real quick, just a plug for the NBA team previews. It's a lot going on right now with sports in general. If you're somebody like myself that's, watching college football on Saturday or betting it, I'm not betting any of it, but if you're watching it, if you're trying to keep up with everything that's going on in the NFL, if you playing or just watching MLB baseball, it's a lot going on, man. The one thing that you're probably overlooking are these NBA teams. So, again, I think this is my year number 3, year number 4, where I've dove into every single team to kind of get, myself acclimated, everybody else acclimated. So when the season starts, it's easier to bet these games. So these team previews have been done. I'm up to date. Today, Pacers in Portland will be dropping a little bit later. They'll be in the video section of my YouTube channel. So go check those out. Go show some love. Get acclimated, caught up on all the betting angles. See what any bets that I'm placing on these teams for future bets. But really, it's more so just to get acclimated. You guys people probably don't understand. I talked about this yesterday, but a team like the Detroit Pistons, they probably going to be a little bit better than a lot of people are expecting this season with the overall that they did with that team. And a lot of people probably don't know that the Pistons not going to be the same Pistons from last year. Not that they're going to be great, but their win total is projected to go, I think, 11 games over the 14-68 record that they had last year. So just something to kind of take into consideration, man. Definitely check out these previews if you guys got time. What's up, AOD? Appreciate you. And that says, appreciate the previews, Chris. Appreciate that, bro. Mark says UFC was good to me. So even UFC, I forgot all about UFC out here as well, man. Let's jump into the games for today. First game we got up is game number 4 between the Liberty and the Aces. This line, I think consensus is still 3. Let me just double check it. When I checked it earlier this morning, it was 3. There's a couple 3.5s out there. It looks like it's juiced a little bit more towards the Aces side. I see a 2.5 on FanDuel as well. So money coming in some places. I also see 3.5. So it really just depends on where you're shopping. You can get a 2.5, a 3, and a 3.5 right now. Consensus for the total looks like it is 166.5. Some 166 out there as well. And all 3 games have gone up and over the total so far. When I did the standalone video, when I did the preview videos last night, I talked about kind of going through this box score and what I thought that really kind of jumped off the page to me. In this game, it was the Aces doing a much better job of taking care of the basketball. They ended up with just 9 turnovers, and also they won the points in the paint battle for the first time in the series, 48-22. You can see it at the bottom right corner. Story of the game, in my opinion, was the Aces defense on Sabrina. They trapped her a lot. They hedged a lot of the screening rolls, and then you saw the Liberty just not be locked in. I mean, like their rotations were pretty bad, which led to a lot of wide open 3-point looks, which is why the Aces, shot 41% from the 3-point line. So Liberty not going. I mean, if you're going to beat the Aces, then you're going to have to play a little bit defense. This is one of the better offensive teams in the WNBA. And whenever you see, Kelsey Plum and Jackie Young combined for 40. I mean, Asia's already a problem. You're not going to be able to beat them like that. So I do expect their defensive effort to be a lot better in this game. And, I mentioned this last night. If you're the Liberty, these series are pretty short. Like, you lose this game, now you put all the pressure on yourself to have to go back home and close the series out in New York. And it's not to say that they can't do that. It's just to say that you don't want to put yourself in a situation where all the marbles riding on one game when you had a 2-game lead going into game 3. And you went into game 3 playing in a gym that you had already won twice in this season. So those are the things I think that really stand out to me in this game. I think Sandy Brondello will, have her team locked in. They'll get back to playing New York basketball. They have beaten this Aces team 5 times this season. They've beaten them twice in this gym in Las Vegas as well. So I think Liberty bounced back here. I know it's difficult to bet against the Aces. I don't think it's necessarily going to be easy, but I expect New York to come out and get the win here. So +3, I'll have it in my pocket. Have not bet it yet, but I will have a +3 in my pocket in favor of the Liberty. They are 8-1. They've been really, really good. 8-1 straight up off a loss this season. So I'm expecting them to bounce back in this spot. Like I said, not that it's going to be easy, but I do think the length, comes to play. I think they play a little bit better defense. You can't allow Aces to shoot 52% from the field. Dominate the boards. It can't be a +1 margin, in my opinion. And Sabrina got to show up. She has to show up. Jaquel Jones also has to show up. Those are the 2 players, in my opinion, that have to show up. I do think Stewie's going to have a really big game, understanding that it's closeout. She's the leader of the team. She's going to have to play well. But Sabrina got to show up. I mean, she was getting to the cup and missing wide open layups as well. Just not there. And I didn't expect that from Sabrina on Friday. So those are my quick thoughts on the game. Let's go through it and see what you guys are talking about. And let me know if y'all got any questions about props. We can live cap some WNBA props in this game if you guys want to. Let me know what questions you guys have. Mark says, what was that third quarter from the Liberty? Yeah, they got outscored. What was the third quarter? 22-6 or something like that. I tweeted out that, the live under at halftime was probably the play because the offenses were going to slow down. I didn't think that it was just going to be because the Liberty offense was going to slow down, but that's exactly what we saw. Liberty, all of a sudden couldn't score the basketball no more, which was cool because I didn't have any play on the full game, but it was kind of interesting, man. I don't think the Liberty have given up 95 points in a very, very long time. Actually, now that you say that, Mark, I'm interested in looking at that real quick just to see what that says this season. So Liberty and previous opponent points greater than equal to, let's just look at 90. So when the Liberty have given up 90 points or more in their previous game, they are 4-1 straight up in their next game. They've won the last two, covered the last two. The Wings and the Storm were the last two teams that they beat in this spot. What about if their previous opponent 3-point field goal percentage was greater than 40? I don't think I can find that one, but I am interested to see what that looks like. Previous opponent field goal percentage is greater than equal to 50. Six 6-0 straight up, 4-2 against the number 4-2 to the over. They've won and covered the last four in this spot when Liberty have allowed their previous opponent to shoot 50% from the field. So it says that they bounced back. I think the Liberty early in this game makes a lot of sense as well. I just think that it's going to start from the beginning. I don't think they're going to be fighting tooth and nail. And they played pretty well in the last game early as well. So appreciate you for shouting that out, Mark, and making me, kind of sending that to my brain. Drew says Aces smash and team total over. So definitely on the opposite side there. James says Liberty first half. Sounds like a lot of people like that Liberty first half. Glow says Liberty want it, Aces need it. That's a fact. It is a fact. Will they close them out? I think so, Lando. We'll see. Mark says I'm with you on the Libs +3. Also took the over 166.5. Yeah, it don't seem like either team can get a stop, which is really, really interesting to me when the first three games of the season went under. And now you get 3 games in the playoffs, they all go over. Seeing really good offense for sure. Glow says Lynx win the chip. I hope not. I got it. I got the Aces. I got the Liberty. I need the Liberty. Peasy likes Jackie to continue to be hot. What I'll say about Jackie, she has been red hot. Jackie is, let's see real quick. Jackie is points prop sitting at 16.5. She is over in 3 straight games, all of them versus the Liberty, 17, 17, and 24. It felt like she couldn't miss from 3 in that last game. She ended up shooting 4 for 10 from the 3-point line. So just 40%, but the field goal attempts are going to be there. So, this makes a lot of sense. She understands that Asia needs help. Asia also still not forcing stuff, which is why Asia continues to go under her points prop. So, if you like that correlation, I think this makes a lot of sense. Makes a lot of sense, Peasy. Just keep riding with Jackie. She's super aggressive. Like I mentioned, 18 shot attempts, 13 shot attempts, and 16 shot attempts. So you're just looking for a point per attempt almost. I could see her continue to have a really good game. What's up, GLB says, what's up? He says, a lot of good value out there today. Yeah, I like this Jackie from Peasy. I was thinking this as well. I didn't get there, though. Lando says Sabrina field goal attempts may be good, maybe a good look since they need her bad. You know what, Lando? I just think that, I was kind of thinking about how Sandy Brondello is going to adjust to them kind of hedging to get the ball out of, Sabrina's hand. Because people who didn't watch the game, or maybe you just weren't paying attention, you could tell, and Coach Becky Hammond talked about this in the post-game interview as well. She said that Kelsey Plum, taught her how to guard Sabrina, and they were just hedging, making getting the ball out of her hands. So I don't know if it's going to be her assist or if it's going to be a hockey assist, because if they trap her, to get the ball out of her hands, then you got a 4-on-3 on the backside. And really it's just, does the person take that jump shot or do they swing it to the wide open person? We saw this a lot with Caitlin Clark and Aaliyah Boston, where, they would set that pick and roll, they would hedge it. Aaliyah would roll to the mid post. Well, she would roll to the free throw line, catch it. Sometimes she shot it. Sometimes she drive to the rim. Sometimes she kicked it to Kelsey Mitchell or Lexi Hall, and it would be that person who ended up hitting the shot. So, I mean, if we see some success from the Liberty, with them doing that, I'm pretty sure Becky Hammond will change the defensive strategy and probably try to play her one-on-one again, because the Liberty are knocking down those shots. So we'll see how that goes, but I don't think our field goal attempts necessarily going to be there. We'll see though. I'm not sure. Glow says Liberty can do it. I think they can. CG3 says he likes Chelsea great over her 5.5 assists. Let's see. So 5.5 assists. She's over in 4 of her 5 playoff games so far, back-to-back games versus this Liberty team. She had 7 in the first game. She had 7. Hold on, no, she didn't. That's not right. She didn't have 7 assists in the first game, did she? No way she had 7. She didn't have 7 assists in the first game. This what I'm looking at got to be wrong. She had 1 assist in the first game. I remember that. Yeah, so this can't be right. Am I under assist? Yeah, I am under assist. So she had 7 assists in the last game. I'll say that. She had a couple really good assist games. A home player. Okay, yeah. She had a couple good assist games against Seattle in that first season as well. I kind of think this is the under game, so I don't know, man. Chelsea, she the best batsman in basketball. So if you like it, take it. Don't let me talk you off. She could definitely get there again. Chad says, not surprising that Becky outcoached Sandy game 1. But just feel like it was the effort. If effort is there, then for Liberty, then they win, which has been the case and result every game between these two except the last one. I agree with that. Glow on the opposite side said the Aces win. GLB says last minute action on the Jets in the Vikings game. He likes Addison over 35.5 receiving yards. I think he clears it today. Liberty game 5. Chad says, nah, it ends tonight, and I'm with Chad. I did talk about last night. I haven't placed it yet, but I will be on the Liberty in this game, just so people know. Like, no way I'm taking the Aces. I'll be on the Liberty to bounce back and get the job done. As difficult as it may seem in this game. And this is I think it's a 3:00 start time for this one today. 3:00 start time. Minnesota, Connecticut starts at 5 on ABC and ESPN respectively. All right, so that's that game. Feel like we did a pretty good job. Nothing else really stood out to me. I was looking for some Phoebus props, because if they're going to continue to trap Jackie, to trap Sabrina, I do feel like Phoebus is going to have another good game. And she soared over her points prop in that last game. But like I said, you really just gotta play with a lot more energy. Like Chad said, first of all, if you're the Liberty, you gotta actually want the game. And then the second thing you got to do is you got to figure out, you got to be a little bit more physical. The Aces were, kind of moving them around in that last game. And Jacquel got to stay on the floor. She can't pick up her 3rd foul the way that she did early in the second quarter on a stupid foul on Asia Wilson, swiping down, clearly a foul. And then you go put yourself on the bench knowing that y'all have nobody that can even attempt to slow down Asia on y'all bench. So you put your team at a big disadvantage. Then she's just shaking her dreads. She reminds me a little bit of Rudy Gobert, if I'm being honest. Like, her basketball IQ, Jacquel Jones is questionable at times. So Jacquel, Rudy Gobert with a jumper. Jacquel really blows me at times, but that's neither here nor there. Let's jump into the next game. So we got Excuse me. We got the Minnesota Lynx. They'll be on the road against Connecticut. And this line is 1.5 on some books. Total did go back up. Last total was 151.5. This one back up to 153.5 after the Minnesota Lynx shot the leather off the basketball in game number 3. You can see here on the left side, they shot 57% from the field. And, held Connecticut to just 41% from the field, only 15% from the 3-point line. And they still, went up and over their total. A lot of it was because they really didn't have a choice. They had to play a little bit faster. The game was played a little bit faster too. And I think Minnesota will want to continue to do that. They're going to want to continue to play fast, get this Connecticut Sun team, low on their heels as much as they possibly can. And, this is one I kind of beat myself up over. And shout out to Chad, because he said, fade the fraudulent Sun. And, I talked about it in game 2 after Minnesota had lost game 1. I said, man, 5 seems like a big number. They won by 7. So I probably should have been on that. Game 3, I said the best team is probably going to win. I really wanted to bet Minnesota. Didn't put a single dollar of U.S. currency on it. And Minnesota was able to take care of business. I think the Lynx do it again. I don't think that they want to go back home for game 4 where, literally anything can happen. So I think that they can take care of the job again. Now, will they go up, and have a 15-point lead or a 12-point lead or anything like that? I'm not sure if it's going to be that pretty of a game, but I do think that they just have too much offense. And this Connecticut Sun team, even though you expect the Marina Mabry to shoot the ball a little bit better, I don't think it's going to be enough for them to get a win here. When I look at Minnesota and I want to bet them in this game, there's a couple things that make me feel good about the way that Connecticut played in the last game. If you look at, these team stats here, outside of shooting the ball 57% from the field, Minnesota didn't do anything else really great. They only shot 33% from the 3-point line, 5 for 15. They could shoot better than that. They got out offensive rebounded 13-6. They only had 1 more assist. They turned the ball over 10 times. And they only got 5 points in the fast break. And they only won points in the paint by 4. So Nafisha Collier was a big reason. I still think they're going to find it difficult to guard her. Maybe they send some doubles at her a little bit earlier, and she probably ends up over the 3.5 assists in this game, which I won't be on. But I do think that Minnesota wins this game. Connecticut is cooked on their home floor tonight. And that's the way I'm choosing to play this one. Just very short, simple, and sweet. I see Glow in the chat. He says this could go under, and I do agree with the under in this spot. I think you get a much better defensive effort in this game from Minnesota, from Connecticut. I think Minnesota continues to play really good defense, and I just don't think the shots gonna fall like they did for Minnesota in that last game. It was just it was a pop to the way that Minnesota was playing with. Courtney Williams had an amazing game. Nafisha Collier had a absolute amazing game. Kayla McBride knocked down some shots in the first half that was big for the team. So I do think it's going to be more of an under game in this spot. If I was playing a total, I would go under, but nothing that I played at all. Lando says, if the Aces win, it's be good for the media. Let me tell you who cares nothing about that. The New York Liberty. Drew says, so we agree on this one. He says Lynx went out right. Chad says Lynx first half. I trust Lynx to come out strong again. I don't know if I trust another win here due to prison ball in the fourth quarter. Yeah, maybe a live bet. But yeah, I'm going to be on Minnesota today. Glow says Sun couldn't score. No plays, only individual efforts. And I think that's what, Minnesota defense. Coach Crystal Reeves is very, very, very good coach. She understands what she needs to take away from this Connecticut team. Mark says he's on the Jets +3. He just hit Addison over 39.5. Okay. Joe says he's on the Jets as well. Mark says he took the over 152, hit the over last game. Chad says maybe overlooking lack of effort from the Sun in game 3. They weren't ready game 3. Not sure if it makes enough of a difference to win, but I do expect a better effort from the Frost. And I think it'll be on the defensive end. Offensively, I think Marina Mabry could struggle to score again. And if she doesn't, DeWanna Bonner could struggle to score because she actually had a pretty good offensive game in game 3. And that's not typical. Tasha says, I think the Jets upset the Vikings. and Brees Hall over 34.5 receiving yards. So I know that game has already started. Let me jump over to NFL real quick. So I did play. It's a small play. I didn't even send it out. I did make a small play on Brees Hall in this game under when I did the propcast with Munoz earlier this week. Brees Hall under. What was the number? Let me get to it. Brees Hall under 13.5 rush attempts. That was minus 119 on Caesars. Minnesota rush defense been stifling all season for people who haven't been paying attention. And Brees has gone over in 3 of his 4 games this season. Only one running back of the 12 running backs that this Vikings defense has faced, has actually gotten 11 rush attempts. So I feel like we got a little bit of an edge with him not getting 14 here. The Jets are passing the ball at the 9th highest rate throughout the first 4 weeks, and they're running the ball at a bottom 10 rate. I think, eventually they probably abandon the run game. And I got to disagree with you guys. I kind of think Minnesota continues to win. The Jets defense is really, really good, probably better than Denver. And we saw, the Vikings offense really, really struggle last week. So I think the Vikings, I think they're 4-0 straight up, 4-0 against the number. They've been really, really good in the first halves as well. So yeah, I didn't play the game, but I think Minnesota, probably on the money line, is the better play. Minnesota also the only team in the NFL that's undefeated ATS in the first half. So I slightly disagree with you guys in the comment section. I think this game's going to have to be won through the air, and we'll see if Aaron Rodgers is up for the task. I'm watching it right now on my iPad to the side. So yeah, I slightly disagree, but some Brees Hall under is what I'm on for today. Let's see. Chad says I'm on the Vikings, square as hell, but the Jets are trash, and I agree with that. I don't think that they're trash. I just think that if you couldn't I know Denver's defense is good, but if you couldn't do it against, in my opinion, if you couldn't do it against Bo Nix last week, it's going to be really difficult to do it this week, especially with the travel. GLB says possible live bet on Allen Lazard touchdown. Drew says over the 40.5. NFL ain't sending them teams overseas to not score. I think I disagree with that. We'll see how it goes, though. We will see how it goes. Let's see. Joe says I'm on the Jets, Packers. I'm on the Jets, the Packers, the Giants, the Dolphins, and Commanders team total under. The Commanders team total under. About to head out. Best of luck, everybody. Best of luck to you as well, Joe. Appreciate you stopping in and dropping off the looks. Games overseas hit different. Experience matters. Okay. Marquise, what's going on, brother? He says, rise and grind, people. Vandy went crazy last night downtown. Fans threw the goalpost in the Cumberland River. I didn't even know they made it to the Cumberland River. I saw them walking down the street with it, though, which is crazy to me. Tasha says that Aaron Rodgers goes under on his pass attempts. I disagree with this, too. I think he goes over because, like I said, I think Minnesota makes the game one-dimensional. What up, Mitchell? What else? Packers -3 for sure, GLB says. I don't really have too strong of a look there. Richie, going back to the W, says Sabrina Stewart over her 20.5 points. I like it. Kelsey Plum under 14 field goals. That must be a prize pick entry. And Tasha likes Jawan Jennings. Even with everybody, I think everybody else plays today. And 3-0 for the Jets, as I kind of expected. Aaron Rodgers under completions, not pass attempts. Oh, got you. So he won't complete the passes. Okay, I got you. What else stood out to me in the NFL this week? So divisional game. And I see I made a mistake already. Let's go here, fix this real quick. I got Carl down here. Like Carl is a person, like the Chicago Bears playing against a person today. I want to go to Baltimore, Cincinnati, +2.5 in favor of the home divisional dog, Cincinnati Bengals. 1 o'clock start time game. Total sitting at 48.5. I kind of think I know it's pretty square. I think Buffalo wins the game. Baltimore wins the game, but I didn't play the side. I like Lamar Jackson. Oh man, he fumbled. God, thank God that went out of bounds. I mean, I don't care, honestly. I don't got nothing on the game. I feel like I got rooting interest for Minnesota just because I like the way that they play football. Anyway, back to what I like in this game. Lamar Jackson over 53.5 rush yards in the Baltimore and Cincinnati game. Lamar this season has utilized his legs a ton in running the football, and he's up and over 53.5 rushing yards in 3 of the 4 games that he's played in so far. He against the Cincinnati team specifically, he's gone over 4 straight times, 54 yards. So it's right there on the number. 54 yards in back-to-back games last season, 58 yards and 88 yards in the 2022 season. And I'm kind of the mindset that Cincinnati is going to load the box here. I know that they're getting some defensive linemen back, but I think that they're going to load the box, especially with no DJ Reader there to slow down the run game. You got to be able to slow down Derrick Henry, in my opinion, and put the pressure on Lamar and make him have to use his arm to beat you. However, I think that's going to open up the rushing opportunities because anytime Lamar drops back, if he don't see nothing, he out. So I think he'll finish with 60-plus rushing yards in this game. You look at the Cincinnati run defense so far, and it's been bad, really bad. They ranked 25th in yards allowed on the ground, giving up 33 rush attempts per game, which is also bottom 5. So I do think Lamar continues to, I think it's going to be the running game for, this Baltimore offense that helps them in what has Cincinnati struggled to stop all season, the run. So I think Lamar goes over his 53.5 rushing yards. Best number I found on that was -114 over on FanDuel. Let's see. Best of luck to you today as well, Chad. Tasha says Bengals upset Ravens today. Money line. What's up, Dad? Appreciate you for tapping in, bro. He says he has Chuba Herbert anytime touchdown. WNBA too hard to find the edge on today. Excuse me. Yeah, I understand. I definitely understand that. I definitely understand. WNBA has been difficult. It was difficult to me on Friday. But Liberty closed it out today. Lynx closed it out today. That's what we're going with. GLB says Derrick Henry gets 2 touchdowns, over 1.5 touchdowns. Drew says Rams spread, Cardinals spread, Houston money line, Dolphins money line, and Bengals money line. That was a hell of a catch by Jefferson. It's going exactly the way I thought it would, at least early in this game. And like I said, I don't got $1 on the actual game. So, and it's a long game. I mean, it's the beginning of the first quarter. We'll see how it goes. All right, so Lamar over. What else I'm talking about here? Lamar over, Breece Hall under. I talked about both of those. Bryant Thomas Jr., wide receiver for the Jacksonville Jaguars, I think he has a big game today. Excuse me, back-to-back weeks with 9 targets. His receiving yards is 55.5. That intrigued me a lot. He's over in 2 of the last 3 weeks, with the only under coming against the Buffalo Bills. The Colts secondary, lot to be desired out there. 117 yards to Nico Collins, number 1 receiver. 62 yards to Romeo Doubs, number 1 receiver. 112 yards to Rome Odunze. 113 yards last week for George Pickens. I think it's going to be a big game for Brandon Thomas Jr. this season. Over 55.5 yards. Some honorable mentions, things that I did not get to, and that would be Zach Moss under his 11.5 rush attempts, just based on the Ravens defense, man. This Ravens defense is number 1 in the NFL. I think that they are very likely to make the Cincinnati offense one-dimensional, and it's just going to be all on excuse me. It's going to be all on Joe Burrow, in my opinion. Also, I like Zach Moss under his 11.5 rush attempts in that game. He also splits the backfield too, so I don't even think he gets 10 rush attempts this week. And then Brock Purdy Brock Purdy passing touchdowns was juiced to the over minus 145, but he has a very favorable matchup at home with all of his weapons today. You can get his passing touchdowns over 1.5. Best number I could find was minus 145. It's pretty juiced everywhere else. But just going back, a couple of the recent games that Brock Purdy has played against this Arizona defense, he actually has I think he has 6 touchdowns in the last 2 games. So I definitely think that it's a big Brock Purdy day. They're going to establish the run as well. It just feels like Brock Purdy has like really big games when he plays against really terrible defenses. So we'll see how that one goes. But I do like Brock Purdy up and over his 1.5 passing touchdowns as well at home today against the divisional Arizona Cardinals. Let's see. What else y'all got for me in the comment section before I jump off of here? GLB says, Chris, check it out on Killer Sports for New England and Miami game. So he sent me something. Appreciate this, bro. Let's see what you got here. Oh, down goes Darnold. You got to get rid of that, Sam Darnold, especially on third down. Messing up the field goal. All right, so what you got? Season greater than or equal to 22. So since 2022, including 2022, and home dogs who previously lost on the road, and they're getting less than 2.5 points, and the total is less than 43. So a low total. Oh, he made the field goal. Oh, Jesus. Okay. Excuse me. Damn. 13-0-1 to the under. Says that the Patriots and the Dolphins don't get to 36 points. Jesus. Yeah, it's definitely under. Appreciate this, GLB. That makes a ton of sense, man. And I remember when I used to find stuff like this. I feel like I never find stuff this great anymore. So this trend says that since the 2022 season, home dogs who are coming off a road loss, they're getting just 2.5 points or less. So it's projected to be a tight game. And it's a pretty low total, a total below 43. 13-0-1 to the under. Every single game has gone under outside of a push that went to overtime between the Giants and the Commanders on December 4th, 2022. And that game finished 2020 with a total of 40. That's a hell of a trend. Damn. I wonder what the games averaging just 35 points, which is significant. No, I'm sorry. Games averaging 31 points, which is, it says it's low for a reason. I like this. And you got a divisional game as well. What did the total open at? I'm always interested to know what the opener is. Let's go check the opener real quick. Jesus, this total opened at 45 points and it's down to 36. And the books say that they still don't get there either. You actually can get a 36.5. I don't know if you locked it in already or not, GLB, but you can get 36.5 on ESPN Bet. Is what I see. Let's see. I might be able to find something better than that. Let's see. $36.5 on Bet365, no juice, just minus 110. Everywhere else got a 36. And this is why you use Jam. 36.5. Minus 115 out there, available on FanDuel. Oh, ESPN Bet got it at minus 110 too. I think I'm gonna ride with you there, GLB. I'm gonna ride with you just because that's a super strong trend. Under 36, I'll be on it. I'll take that one with you. Appreciate you for shouting that out. Love capping the games like this. Let me get to my handy dandy notebook. Write that one down. Makes a lot of sense. New England should be able to score. I don't think Miami's going to be able to score. These two two of the worst offenses in the league, especially given the current roster of the Miami Dolphins. Under 36.5. Love it. Love it, love it, love it. Appreciate that, GLB. Pittsburgh defense, number one. I like Pittsburgh. I think that they win the game just based off strengths versus weaknesses, Tasha. I do think that they win the game. I didn't play it, but Pittsburgh to beat Dallas makes a lot of sense. Pittsburgh's going to run the ball. It should be a big game for Najee Harris. His rush attempts to go over. Dallas can't stop the run. Dallas also can't run. Pittsburgh love to pin their ears back. And I think I read that a rookie guard is going to be starting against TJ Watt. Best of luck. Man, they better have him double team. What else? Lando says, I like Stephon Diggs playing his old team. What do you think? Yeah, Munoz, my guy Munoz actually took Stephon Diggs. His favorite wide receiver prop this week. Whatever his yards were listed at, I think it's like 53.5 or something like that. 60, something, whatever it was at. He liked it. I think he laddered him as well. I think Tigdell is, when I looked this morning, he is on the injury report. Not sure if he's going to play. I think he is going to play, though. Says he got him at 57.5. I like it. Tasha says CJ Stroud over 1.5 touchdowns look good. I could see CJ having a big game against Buffalo today. Going to be a long day for Sam, Drew says. GLB says, I'm from Miami and fade the Patriots always. That makes a lot of sense. He said, damn, I got it at 35.5 already. Hopefully we both still cash. I hope you cash it. I love that look, man. I appreciate you for sharing that for sure. Tasha says she took Jaden Daniels over 40.5 rushing yards. So his rushing yards have actually gone down, Tasha. He's trying not to run the ball as much, but I think that is going to be much more of a competitive game. I like the Commanders, pretty square play, but I do like my Commanders today to beat the Cleveland Browns. The line was 1 yet last week during the game, so the look ahead line was 1. It quickly got better to 2.5, and then eventually went 3. I don't know if it ever touched 3.5, but I know that it's kind of settled at 3. And some people just thinking you can't lay points with Jaden Daniels and a rookie quarterback quite yet, but you continue to make money with him as a dog. I am of the mindset that there's a lot of variance with Jaden Daniels, and it's still a lot of variance. And what was it, like 16 straight scoring drives? Like, I know that the hype, is there. Hold on. Did he run into him? Oh man. I know that the hype, is starting to build around Jaden Daniels, but it don't feel like he letting any of that outside noise in. And I just feel like the Commanders are playing really good football. It's not like they're playing, they're laying points against a good team. They're laying points against a bad team. I know I keep saying Buffalo. Cleveland's defense is a little bit better than the defenses that Jaden Daniels has faced over the last few weeks. When you think about, them playing against Arizona's defense is weak. When you think about them playing against Cincinnati on Monday Night Football a couple weeks ago, Cincinnati's defense is weak. But I just kind of feel like the Commanders will be able to win the game by 3 points, between how, polished the offense is. And I do expect them to get after Jaden Daniels a little bit more than what we've seen over the last 2 weeks. But he just hasn't made a lot of mistakes so far. So as long as he can take care of the ball, he's not, pretty balanced in the pocket and not really rushing anything. And then on the opposite side, Deshaun Watson, like, what is their offense going to do? They own all those offensive linemen. Commanders don't have the greatest defense, but I mean, it doesn't scare me. It does not scare me a lot at all. So I do like the -3, just haven't played it. Blake Pick says, really feel Carolina Panthers money line. Think there's a good spot. Think the spot for a good game. I thought about that game long and hard, and I can't quite get there either way. I think Dalton is going to struggle. So the win in that game, I don't know if people looked at it. The win is supposed to be blowing really, really hard. A Dalton under on his longest pass attempt, I think is probably something that should be looked at. I think it'll be a lot of checkdowns. It's supposed to impact the game a lot. I don't want to put any money back in Caleb Williams. That's not something that I want to do. But the Browns, the Bears defense is good. It's the best unit on the field, in my opinion. The Bears defense is better than the Bears offense. The Bears defense is better than the Carolina defense, and Bears defense is better than Carolina's offense, in my opinion. So maybe a team total under for Carolina. But yeah, I couldn't quite get there with Carolina. Just thinking that the Bears defense is going to be able to slow down what Dalton wants to do, especially with the win being an advantage for Carolina's defense, for the Bears defense. DeAndre Swift should have a big game because Carolina still can't stop the run. Running backs absolutely eating whenever they play against Carolina. Drop a dime says Packers minus the 3. Yeah, I don't feel strong about Packers either. They playing the Rams. Rams have been trash, but I don't know, man. I don't know. I think they should be able to run the ball. I have a lot of success with Josh Jacobs this week. Rams are, bottom 3 against the rush this season. So they should find a lot of success there that should open up the offensive play calling. You got Jordan Love coming back in the second week of this, after getting mollywopped against Minnesota in the first half. He should find some success in this game. I do kind of agree with that. I know they got the whole stuff, going on with Romeo Doubs, and they suspended him for, being at the crib and not coming to practice because, he was whatever, all of that. I don't want to get into all that, but yeah, I can understand that. I can understand Packers minus 3. They should be able to win. Tyler Hunter passing yards under. Couldn't talk you off that. Lightbird says, "What's up, Chris? Let's cash out." Thanks, God. Drew says Cowboys can't win at home, but they can win on the road. They beat Cleveland on the road in week 1. Tasha says Pats versus Miami trash game. Drew says NFL wants Caleb in the playoffs. Bears will go on a hot streak. Depends on what their schedule look like. I don't think anybody cares about who wants people in. It's going to be about who can get in. And that, Caleb has looked pretty poor in my opinion. That Jets defense does not look good. Sam Darnold out there looking like Lamar Jackson. GLB says going to take the Cardinals too. I got it at plus 7.5. Yeah, that's a scary one, GLB, but it makes some sense. You got a divisional game. I just worry about the Cardinals defense, but 7.5 is something I'm not laying with any team right now. You got another query from me. Let's look into this one, and I'm gonna get ready to get up out of here. So season greater than or equal to 2020, and a dog in the previous ATS margin. They failed to cover by 25 points in their previous margin. What did I do wrong? Oh, I didn't put a space. So since the 2020 season, dogs who failed to cover their last game by 25 points or more, and they're facing a divisional opponent, 17-4 against the number, 13-8 to the under. Jesus Christ, that's a hell of a trend. That's 81% says that the Cardinals cover against the 49ers today, taking the plus 7.5. And if they're on the road too, they are 10-2 against the number, 83.3%. Gets even stronger. Damn, that's a hell of a trend. GLB is on it. Appreciate you for sharing, bro. I hope you cash, man. Hope they can keep it within the touchdown and a field goal for you, or within 8. We'll see. We shall see. Let's see real quick. I just want to see the Cardinals. So since the last 4 games, since the 2022 season, the beginning, the Cardinals have not won or covered against the 49ers. They've been getting smoked. 0-4 straight up, 0-4 against the number, losing by an average of 22 points per game, failing to cover by an average of 9.4 points per game. Last year, they lost 29-45. Last year, they also lost 16-35. And in the 2022 season, they lost 13-38 and 10-38. God. And this is what I was saying about Brock Purdy over his 1.5 passing touchdowns. Man, they run it up whenever they play against the Cardinals. Jesus. And that you wouldn't even think that's a divisional game. Damn, so that's a counter to your argument. But I mean, that makes a lot of sense, JLB. Makes a lot of sense, man. Lando says, and appreciate you for sharing too. Lando says, do you like Bo Nix versus the Raiders? No, I don't like Bo Nix at all. I just don't think that, the way that the Denver offense looks, it puts a lot of stress on their defense to go out there and play well, and they have, and I think that they will again today. Gardner Minshew is not the guy to me. So best unit on the field for that game will be the Denver defense again. Mark says he teased the Browns +9. PZ says square play, but I'm on the Packers -3 as well. Mark says he thinks Patrick Mahomes throws an interception today at the crib. That's Sunday Night Football against the New Orleans Saints. PZ says, I believe Coach Tomlin will get the job done. Steelers money line. I like it. I do like the Steelers today. I didn't bet them, but I like it. GLB says, I think the Sharps on this play today too. Yeah, I think they are, GLB. I think Arizona is a Sharps play versus public play for sure. Which is why you see that 7.5 coming down to 7. Taj says, I'm not going against the 49ers or Kansas City. So I was looking into Kansas City a little bit, Tasha, and I think teams that have covered, that have won 4 straight games but didn't cover the number. I had looked into something. I don't know if I wrote it down or not. Teams that have covered 4 straight games, but won 4 straight games but haven't covered, typically don't cover in their next game. I think it's a super hard play to make, but I think the Saints keep it close today. That's the way I would be looking. Boy, Sam Darnold is out here eating. That Jets defense is not great. It is not great. All right, anyway. JB says Darnold is down. Who threw that pass then? That one Sam Darnold. What up, Chris? He says they did Kyler Murray go not snap today. So do I think he's gonna snap today? I don't know, man. I don't know. Don't look like he's been snapping too much in these most recent games. 10 points, 13. Well, I guess a couple of these games he didn't play in because he was hurt too. So we'll see how it goes. I think Cardinals +7.5 is sharp. I will say that. Oh gosh. Oh man, boy, I'm glad I ain't got $1 in this game. Let's see. Is Kansas City down a wide receiver? Yeah, Kansas City down like 10 wide receivers, man. Everybody on their team down at wide receiver. They got 2 wide receivers left. They got Xavier Worthy and Travis Kelce. About the only 2 wide receivers they got. Chad says, Fred says, what up, Fred? He says, I'm late though, Chris. Anybody like Bree Jones under her 10 points? I'm not sure. I think she did. She scored like 20 in the last game, but I don't know if they're gonna try to get her the ball again, Fred, like they did in the last game, because she was actually the most successful offensive player. Like she was working. She got Alana Smith in foul trouble, ended up fouling her out of the game as well. But she had been played off the floor, in those first 2 games where she didn't even get the 20 minutes. But I don't know what Coach Stephanie White gonna do. That's the reason why I stayed away from that game. Stayed away from that player, from her player prop specifically. I have no idea, man. No idea what they're gonna do with her today, Fred. She can have some success, but it all just depends on her minutes. And if I don't know, if they're gonna try to play her big minutes or not. Clearly, work for her individual success, but the game, the team got smoked. So we'll see how that goes today. It's not anything that I'm a bet. Thoughts on Marvin Harrison Jr. receiving yards over against the 49ers? I don't know, man. I thought he should have had a really good game last week against the Commanders secondary, and he didn't. San Francisco secondary is not the greatest part of their defense. And I do think that, Arizona will be playing from behind. So I probably would look towards the under. And they probably try to make, Arizona one-dimensional as well. And, just to be able to pass the ball. His athleticism, his speed, his catch radius, yards after contact, all of that stuff would scare me off of probably taking this under. So I guess I would lean towards the over. Not anything that I put my money on, no, Mitchell. Just talking it out loud. Tasha says she likes Marvin Harrison Jr. props. Okay. And yeah, let's get up off here. I've been on here for an hour. That's way longer than enough time. Let's add some of these NFL looks that I have talked about as well. Y'all play what y'all want, man. I hope y'all make a lot of cash today. We're gonna go with games that haven't started. We'll go Lamar Jackson over 53.5 rushing yards. We'll go Brian Thomas Jr. over 55.5 receiving yards. And let's stick an under in there as well. Same game, we'll go Zach Moss under 11.5 rush attempts. Just because he won't be able to run the ball. They won't be able to find a lot of success running the ball. Probably going to be playing from behind. We'll see how it goes. All right. Yeah, I don't think I really have any other like burning thoughts on today's NFL card. I would take, let's go through the spreads real quick. I take Washington -3. I take the total, like we just talked about. I like that total a lot. Shout out to GLB for sharing that trend on the under. Man, Vikings not it. I mean, the Vikings are it. I should have bet them. Probably should have bet them. Touchdown. Not against the good defenses, Aaron Rodgers. Not against the good defenses, my brother. Anyway, Washington -3 under in the Miami New England game. Indy and Jacksonville. I don't really have a play on that one. Not a game that I'm really interested in. I kind of like Indy without. I know that they're down to Jonathan Taylor as well, but I kind of like Joe Flacco a lot more. You gotta like Joe Flacco a lot more. So no play on that game. Buffalo, Houston. I like Houston. I think that they pull it off and get the job done against Buffalo, coming off of a Sunday night football game. Baltimore, Cincinnati. I'm probably a little more public, I guess. Baltimore is the way that I would play that game. Carolina and Chicago. Boy, I can't lay forward with Chicago, but I do think they're the right side. Yeah, that's the game I absolutely have no real thoughts on it at all. Arizona, San Francisco. I like Arizona plus the points. Denver and Las Vegas. I like Denver. Even with a Bo Nix, I just feel like Vegas gonna really struggle to score. So -3 for Denver. The Giants and the Seahawks. Seahawks -7. Not gonna overthink that one. I don't really have too many thoughts on Green Bay and the Los Angeles Rams. Not a game that I dove too deep into, and then I would be laying with Pittsburgh. I do think they get the job done against Dallas. Really expose Dallas, but we'll see how it goes. The defense is gonna be after. It's gonna be after Dak Prescott all game. Let's see. Peasy says, "Let's go Vikings." Appreciate you, Mark. He says, "Great show. Best of luck on all your action." Same. Appreciate you as well. Same to you, AOD. Do you play player props or mainly the spreads? Richie Rich says, a little bit of both, Richie Rich. Whatever I feel like I got an edge on. Also to the members, I forgot to shout this out. I'll be sending out some plays if we can get some rosters for these NBA games today. We got a lot of games today. So if I can find out who's going to play, I know the Lakers play against Phoenix, and Coach JJ Redick already said that LeBron and AD will play after getting smoked against the Timberwolves on Friday night. So if we can get some of that news, it's going to be some plays on the total. It'll be some plays on the first half. I'm not playing full games, but it'll be some plays on the first half, and it'll be some plays on. I may play some full games, but we'll start to dabble a little bit. It won't be big plays, but we'll get some preseason action out there as well for the NBA. I'll send those out to the members as we get that information. So that's all I got for you guys. I appreciate everybody for tapping in today. Appreciate you, JLB, for sharing that look. I am going to put a little something on New England and Miami under the 36.5. I think that was a hell of a trend that he pointed out. 13-0 to the under, and 13-0-1 to the under, and I'm willing to ride with that for sure. So here's the recap. Minnesota, 2 plays of WNBA plays. I'll be on Minnesota plus the 2. New York, Liberty plus the 3.5 today. Lamar Jackson over his rush yards. Bryant Thomas Jr. over his receiving yards. Zach Moss under his rush attempts. 2 of those actually come in the same game. But yeah, that'll be it. Resources I use to handicap the games are here for people that are interested. Check out OddsJam. Check out Moneyballer. Got any questions about either one of these, DM me on Twitter at ChrisBeCappinn, 2 P's and 2 N's, and we can chat it out, answer all the questions that you may have. If you enjoyed the show, do me a favor, hit that thumbs up button, subscribe to the channel if you guys have not. Link for all my official plays in the description as it always is. Enjoy your Sunday. I'll catch you guys in the next one, man. I'm out.